It sure is a lot harder than I remember doing. Okay, I'm just gonna apologize in advance now. I'm not exactly in the best state of health, and I'm getting better, but I just couldn't sit around not do anything, and I'm trying to stay active so I can hurry up and heal. So I may have to take a few pauses and sip some water and maybe throw up a little bit, but I apologize for that in advance, and if that's too much for you, then I'm sorry. Eh, it's the best I can do. Plus, the noise in the background from the fans, it is still super hot here, even though it's already September. I tried to wait till it was cooler, but people keep asking about the motion capture thing, so I have to get it done sooner rather than later because I feel like it's mean to y'all to have made y'all wait this long to do a proper tutorial after doing that live on it. But during that time, I was doing a lot of research on it, and even though I spent like a couple months studying it, I still can't remember the name of the program. So I am so sorry, and I'm apologizing for all this stuff in advance. With that said, let's begin the tutorial and get you guys dancing, okay? So, this is going to be as much... Oh, wait, first I got to do my introduction. Sorry. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another Mighty Ginkgo tutorial. My name is Zero, and I'll be your instructor for this lesson. Alright, there. Now it's official. The tutorial has started. So, we're going to be using a program called, I believe, VM Animator. And what this program does is essentially uses an AI model to motion trace videos and turn them into animations for you to use. Now, by default, this program is used for the MMD or Miku Miku Dance program, but we're going to use the power of Blender and Onigiri to convert those MMD motions into Second Life animations so you too can dance inside Second Life. And I also have like a small request for this, that if you do use this for, converting your stuff to Second Life, that you share your MMD raw files with the MMD community, because they don't really have a lot of stuff nowadays, and everybody is just putting it on their Patreon, so you gotta pay to use it, and that kind of goes against the whole base of what MMD usually was about. So if you make stuff, try sharing it with the community that this program was actually made for. So that we all can prosper. That's all I ask. Okay, so before we begin, you're going to need a couple of things to make this thing work. First, you're going to need the program, the VM. You're going to also need something to download videos with. Now, I get all of my videos from YouTube and Facebook and such. So I use 4K downloader for that. It's a paid program, but it does allow you to use it for free. It just has a limit on how long the video can be with a free one. But if you're using shorts, then it definitely falls underneath that. But I like this because I want to download whole channels sometimes. So I like to use the paid version, and this is the one I recommend. There are free YouTube downloaders online, and you can use those as well. This one is just easier for me. You're going to need a copy of Blender 2.8. I think it's like 2.82, okay? So Blender 2.82. And the Cats plugin. And Onigiri. In fact, it's so much stuff that you're going to need for this that we have organized it in our Discord in the tutorial section called Free Mocap Program Tutorial and Resources, and it has everything that I'm going to use and have used inside to make this program go, such as the plugins for Blender, the program itself, the maps, right? What are those things called? That's what they're called. Yeah, the bone maps, the bone poses, the blend file that I'm going to use later on, some tools for cropping your videos and making sure that it focuses only on one person, links to this and that, the guy who made it, all the support stuff that you need, and even some scripts to make dancers and one with music. Now those are things that I had made forever ago, and they're kind of buggy, but they work, so you'll have to play around with those. I'm not really going to address that in this video because of scripting, and y'all know that scripting sets me on fire, so you'll have to play around with that, and the blend file where everything is put together, so you can use that. So hang on one second. I just noticed that I have a message. I should have two messages, so I'm gonna go check that real quick, and I'm gonna be right back with you. Okay, sorry about that. I forgot where I was at. Okay, so all of the tools. Oh, sorry about that. So we have all of everything that you need. So make sure that you join our Discord, which can be found in the community tab. I didn't post it here in this video because just in case my server link goes down, I don't want people saying, hey, it's dead, it's dead. I can just upload it inside of the community tab. So just go there. And everything will be here inside the tutorial thing. You just download that and then follow along here. So I'm going to lower this real quick. So the first thing we want to do is we want to find our video. I'm going to talk about this. I'm sorry, like the actual process for doing this is actually quite short, but it's a lot that you have to understand so that you have your expectations in check. Because when I heard about this, I was like, oh my god, we're going to copy everything! And then I ran into a bunch of pitfalls, and I'm going to tell you about them so that you don't have it. So I'm sorry this is going to be one of those long videos that could have been summed up in an email, but I just want to make sure that you guys got everything in check. So the first thing we need to do is look at our videos, and for the most part the program can copy a lot of videos, things from video games, which is iffy, but real people are the best. Now when you're doing real people videos, you want to make sure that you have, let's see. This is a lot easier because I don't want to seem racist, but the ladies who do the K-pop videos have like the best examples of what to do and what not to do when it comes to copying. Okay, so I'm going to use this one as an example. This would be an okay video, but you would have to worry about videos where the shadows are around the feet because that can confuse the AI. You want to make sure that they have bright color clothes on. Dark color clothes are fine, but when they have dark, like black gloves or black stuff on and they cross their arms, it can confuse the AI. So you want to make sure that your arms are, there's a distinct vision between hands and limbs. Skirts are okay as long as they're not too flowy. They're okay. Same thing with garments, because you want to make sure that the arms and stuff are really visible. This is like the ideal outfit right here. Everything is, although she's wearing a lot of pink, she's got like a strength distinction between the arms and the rest of the limbs. Even with the camera zooming in and out like this, it still would be able to capture something like that. My only thing that I would be worried about is the background, because you want a nice clean plain black background. Those work the best, but the flashing lights in the back could cause a problem with the AI. White backgrounds are king, so you want to try to find stuff with that, but you don't want it to be too white where it can confuse background and limbs. So this may not transfer as well, but it could. I don't know. It's always like 50-50 with that one. Dark backgrounds are evil, especially dark backgrounds when it has a lot of shadows inside of there. That's not good either. Also, one of the things that you really need to take into effect is that this only can track one person at a time. So if you have a video where it has multiple people inside of it, that's like great that I scroll down and there's a video with multiple people. If you have a video with multiple people inside there, you're going to need to have a program or something that can crop the video so that it's only on one person, because it will snap to whoever is in the back. In most cases, it will stay with whoever is in the foreground, but it will shift over and jump bodies to whoever you want to. So something like this would probably be bad because it's going to focus on, well, like this is fine, but something like this, not so fine, because it's going to go with this and go over to the next person. Even if you have the first run and it's like, it focused on this person in the first run when you did the test of it. When you go to play through it again, it may jump to the next person, and you got to watch and like keep hoping that it's going to switch over to the other person. So it's always best to have a crop and focus on one person at a time. So no ballroom dancing with this on here, unfortunately. But it does get really good ballet stuff, so that's nice. What else is there? Like this is okay, but the shadows would cause a problem. Let's see, what else is about this that's a pitfall? this, the video, multiple people, no flashy lights, make sure your feet are visible. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Can't think of anything else. I'm sure it's going to pop up as I do the tutorial more. But now that you got at least the biggest thing, when you're looking for your videos and you're downloading them, make sure they have no special characters and particularly hashtags. For whatever reason, this program does not like hashtags. If you try to load a video with a hashtag in there, it will not go. So make sure that you remove all the hashtags from your videos, especially if you got shorts. Alright, so let's go and find our video that we wanted to use for this. Now, there was one video in particular that I wanted to use because it helps point out a couple issues when you're translating from MMD to Second Life. So I'm going to type FNAF Lola and use this video because I like it. And I may or may not be doing this in the house sometimes. So I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to post it in here. Download it. It's going to take a minute. I really should have this already. Okay. So we got the video. We want to show a folder. And like I said, if you don't have it, if you have hashtags in there, you need to remove those. So I'm just going to rename this real quick. And let's rename it that. So now that we got that going, I did press okay, sorry. I wasn't sure if I hit record. I was like, I am recording, right? Alright, so we got our Lola video, right? And now what we're going to do is launch our program. So I'm going to close it and show you what it looks like when you first start it. So I'm going to click it. Now let's just say that your computer isn't that great. You can also use the web version that they have and do it on their side of the computer. So this is actually great as well, especially if you do not have a Windows computer. I meant to say that before, but this program only works with Windows, I think. So you have to, if you know, emulate Windows or go use the web version. So now that we told that to those people, let's continue. So you see this big start button? We're going to press this big start button. But before you start, just in case you have a custom MMD model you want to use it for this, you can actually drop that into this first, then press start. But we're not going to do, or VRM. So if you have Vroid or something and you want to put your model on here and have them dance, you can do that as well. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to use the default one that came with it. So I'm just going to hit start and wait for it to load. And then you see we got her. I wonder what her name is. Alright, so we have this and we need to start looking at the way to tell her to start dancing. So that means we got to click on this little guy at the bottom who I've just been calling Mega Man. So we're going to double click Mega Man. And it's going to ask us what form of motion capture that we want to do. Now this one has a lot of features. Like let's say if you were trying to do motion capture for the face. Now I'm pretty sure that the face doesn't work for us in Second Life because MMD uses morphs to do faces. The A-I-E-I-O-U stuff. I guess that would be more impressive if you could see my mouth. They're sliders, and Second Life doesn't do slider animation just yet. So we're doing face capture stuff doesn't really help us out, but it would for MMD people. Body only is just like it says. It's just the body of it is a very simple skeleton that will start doing the capture, which is about like shoulders, torso, pelvis, legs, arms, but not the hands, and neck and the head, but not the face. So it would just do head motions. I really gotta stop drastically moving my head trying to show y'all what it does. You can't see me. So it would do the head animations, but not the face animation. Then you have body and hands, which is everything I just said with the body, but the hand capture, the finger motions will be captured. And then we have face and body, which will do the face and body, but not the hands. So, you know that. And then we get into full body, which does everything, like the entire thing, you know, face, hands, body, the whole 9 yards. And there are two types of it. There's media pipe one, which is like the more advanced one and one that I recommend using the most. And then there's the legacy holistic one, which is a simpler version it's not as heavy on your computer, but it doesn't capture as well as the media pipe one. So I wouldn't even bother using it in this. And then you have motion capture options, which you will use to fine tune your motion, the capturing process, if it starts jacking up. Now, that one you're going to have to play around and figure out on your own, because it's like I do things that shouldn't work, and I'm like, turn it up to 200%, and the person came to me and was like, hey, you shouldn't have it that high, you're taxing your computer, you only need to have it at 150. And I'm like, oh. So, you'll have to play around with that one and, really season your motions and make sure that it comes out right. So, which one are we going to use? We're going to use the full body media pipe, because that's the one you're pretty much going to be using the most with. Alright, so once we tell her what type of motion capture we want to use, she's all ready and waiting for the media input. No, you don't, Momo. Get. Sorry, new cat. Try to walk on a keyboard. Okay, so next we need to tell her what kind of media input we want to use. And this one uses two types of media. You can either use... Hang on, I'm getting attacked by a kitten. Yes, Momo? Can I help you, baby? Okay, sorry about that. So you can use a selfie camera, a webcam, or you can just use plain videos imported into it. I've only ever used the local media. I don't have a webcam. So we're going to just focus on that, because even if I did, I'm sure y'all don't want to see me flapping around like a chicken with his head cut off talking about I'm dancing. So we're going to enable this for just saying yes. So once it's here, it's going to ask you what input of media are we going to be using. We're going to say we're going to use local media, because that's our videos. And you click it and then nothing happens. That's because we're supposed to drag the video into the program first, then select local media. So let's go to our media folder, and we're going to pick our Lola video. And we're just going to drag it into the program like that. And it doesn't give you any fanfare. Once you do it, you just do it. And then you push local media, and then you'll see it starts loading. Give it a second. Okay, now it's worth noting that first I need to push the mute button, because I'm pretty sure I just got a copyright strike because of that. So, now I can play without the video, without the music. Okay, so one thing that you need to take note of is that this is very heavy. How well it does is very dependent on how well your graphics card is. Now, I got a pretty good graphics card nowadays. I think it's like I'm embarrassed to say what it is, because I know like when it goes on, they'll be like, you got a GTX 3080, 12 gigs. When this video gets old in a few years, it's going to be like, I can't believe they used to think that was a good graphics card. Well, it's good now, doggone it. So that's what I have. So it's going to be doing this. Now, my results may not be as great as they could be, because I'm also recording right now, which is taking some, processing power right now. So it's taken away from resources that could be used towards doing this. Now, one thing that I would say that you most definitely need to do is set up how well the AI is. By default, let me see, where would that be? Right here. So I'm going to click on Mega Man again, and we're going to go to mocap options, and it's going to have body tracking options. Now, the AI model that I have set up, the AI quality, is on best. And it gives you the explanation about that it determines the weight of the mocap AI. Best is the heavier version, which provides a better mocap accuracy and quality at the expense of a GPU usage, which I just said. By default, it is set to normal, which is why she's looking at me like you made me stop just this, which, is okay, but you can see the difference between having the normal one on and not having the normal. So I like to just put it on best. Now, when it's on best, it also gives you something called Z depth scale. Depth scale. People keep making fun of how I say depth and how it says depth. So the depth scale is, you know how when you see the 3D cameras and they show you the whole, like, I'm used to the old Kinect one, the cloud, and it shows you how deep you are into the room and it just scans it with that. Well, that's pretty much what the scaling does. It's scanning the video for how deep it has to go to create a skeleton to make it move. So by default it's set to it's not minimum when you have it on low, but medium is really where you want to be. I had a very high like card and all that jazz, and I had it on maximum, and it caused more errors than it didn't. Minimum is okay, especially if you're trying to motion capture stuff from video games, but for people and for like mostly everything else, medium is where you want to be. So you want to leave that on medium if it's on medium. There's also some other stuff that's in here that's fun to play with, like the body bend. I use the leg IK on, and I leave the auto grounding off, mostly because some of the stuff that I do, people keep kicking up their legs. So if you have the auto grounding on and they kick their leg up, you are going to get some wacky results. So I don't know. I mean, it could be fine if you can look at this with it on and with it not on. You see she doesn't do that bounce as well when it's auto ground on, but it does look a lot better with that bend. So let's see, without it. So it's really all just a bunch of preference for you. And I'm just going to tell you right now, no animation is going to be 100% accurate to the video. It's going to be like in a nice 90 and below. So you're going to have to edit and fix it once you get it inside of Blender. So, you know, that. Alright, so we got all this stuff done. I'm just going to hit done. And we're going to move on to exporting. So once you got your motion and it's run through it a couple times and the AI knows what it wants to do and you're mostly okay with it, we can go and export it. Although I am a little like, looking at her hands. So to be honest with you, I want to go and turn the mocap off real quick. Go back to the motion capture stuff and do just body only. So that her hands are static and it doesn't really, you know, try to capture it, because I think this looks a lot cleaner than what we had before. Alright, so once we got our stuff and we're satisfied with it, let's export. So we're going to go over here to the Mega Man. You want to double click to bring up the motion capture menu. Then you want to hit record motion, and then 1x speed, and you want to drag it to the beginning of the motion or wherever you want to record it at, and then press play and let it run through again. Now it's not absolute. If you don't like the way it came out, you can always go back and record it again and again as many times as you want until it looks better. I do think that this is hilarious that it's going to pop up at the end like that, because this person's face is here. But now that it's done, you just double click on Mega Man again, and then you press export motion to file. And then we're going to push VMD and save it somewhere where you can find it. So for me, we're going to put this on my desktop, and then we're going to call this Lola, and then hit OK. So right there, that's pretty much it with it. You can just drag in another animation if you want to. You can just do like this. Oh no, I do not have K-pop copyright stuff, so you could just keep doing this. Now there are some motions that it just do not do right, like that's a lot of shaking, so she's going to get the general idea of the shake, but don't expect like rapid fire shaking to work. Now this is one that I also did here real quick. It says Star, that stupid song everybody likes, but it does capture the hands better with this than it did with Lola. So I am going to forget about this, because this is how that stream we had went off the rails, because I kept making motions. Okay, sorry about that. Let us now begin the next stage of the tutorial, where we convert the MMD motion into a Second Life animation. So we're going to open up our Blender, and I'm using Blender 2.82. I'm just going to start a new one so it looks like this when y'all open it, like this. And we're going to press A a few times, highlight everything, and then press delete. Now, to make this go, you need to have two plugins that are absolutely mandatory. One is Onigiri, because that's what's going to allow us to convert the motion into Second Life animations, and the Cats plugin. That's going to allow us to import the MMD model and the motion. Now, I was going to do this thing where I tell you how you can import the motion, the animation, not the animation, the model, the MMD model that we're going to use as a base and all the rest of that jazz. But I figured it'd just be easier to just create a file for you guys to use. That way you could just open it and then reset it, and then like when you want to do a new animation, like convert this one, is converted, reset the blend, do the next one without having to keep importing the model, doing the pose, doing this, doing that. So this is supposed to make it easier for you, and if you want to do that, just go to our Discord and then download the blend inside of the tutorial section. So what we do next is we go to File, Open. For me it'd be Recent, and you want to open up the VMD Starter Blend. Don't save. And you'll get this. Now, I'm so sorry. When I thought about it, I forgot to save and pack the textures in, so she looks like this, but it's okay. Don't worry about it. She is going to be our dancing ditto, and we love her, even if she doesn't have textures. Okay, so now we have our model, our VMD stuff loaded in. What we're going to do next is load in our motion. So click on the bones, and they should be highlighted in yellow like such. Ooh! Hang on one second. My husband's on break and he's calling me. I'll be right back. Okay. I am so sorry about that. As soon as he called, we got attacked in the Discord, and it was with spam and all the rest of that jazz, so I had to go stop that. So give me 1 second to readjust my brain and see where we at. Okay. So I think we just loaded in the VMD Starter Blend, and now we need to put in the Lola animation. So select the bones, so they should be highlighted like this. Then you want to go to File, Import, MMD motion.vmd right here. Now if you don't see this, that means you don't have Cats installed. You have to install Cats, okay? Very important. Install the Cats. So once you got that, get the motion, and then go to where you saved your dance at. For me, it's on my desktop. So we have Lola. We're going to put her in. So we're going to press play. And you see we have the animation that we have there. You can't really see it because of this failed texture thing, but, she's there. It's got the gist of it. Okay. So now that we got that going, we need to... Now that we have our animation inside here, we checked it, everything looks fine. We're going to convert this into a Second Life one. I do have one thing to say about this before we go on, that sometimes it may look fine inside of the motion capture, but when you import it in, your arm may go wonky. If that ever happens, just turn the program off and reload it, and then it should work out. That's what I did a couple times, and that worked. Okay, so let's start the conversion to Second Life process. Let me get some water because I feel like I'm a hurl. Okay. Now, before you even ask me, yes, you need this version of Blender. Yes, you need this version of Blender. No, it don't really work in the newer versions of Blender. So if you are on Blender 3, Blender 4, Blender anything above 2.9 something, or 2.82, then yes, it's gonna mess up. Please come down to Blender 2.82 to do this. It is free. It will not hurt you. Just grab a zip of it, and it won't interfere with your installation of your newer Blender. So please, I'm not saying it to you, please download the version I'm using. Okay. So now let's start the conversion process. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our Onigiri tab, and we want to click on, oops, I scooted her over. We want to click on the bones. Then we want to go to the animation tab, and we're going to scroll down to where it says enable pose library. Well, enable posing library. Next, you're going to go to load, and from our Discord, you're going to download a file called mmdsltpose.bpl, and that's what you're going to need. So we're going to select this file, and if you don't have it, go to the Discord and download it because it's there. And then you download that, and you click load pose library. When you do so, you'll see this little box pop up that says mmdsltpose, and there's a little happy dancing pineapple next to a pencil. You want to click the happy pineapple, and it's going to put the model into the T-pose for you. Once it's in the T-pose, we're going to scroll up to where it says reference pose features, and then we're going to press this little green arrow that's pointing to the animation and say yes, that is it's going to be our reference pose for all the stuff that we're going to do. And then you're going to press create reference pose. Now, one thing that I kind of sort of forgot to tell you is that you're going to make sure that you're on frame 1 when you do this. Otherwise, it'll mess up your animation. So make sure that you're starting on frame 1. Now, this is 1, that's 1, and you're good. So once you press the reference pose and you press create it, you'll see that the box is blacked out, and that means that this will be our faux T-pose starter that Second Life loves to copy. So once that's done, we need to do the next step in the conversion process, which is to close the animation tab and go to character tools, then retarget motion, and then you're going to select load map. Again, the file that you're going to use is going to be in the Discord, and it's going to be called MMD alternative map. Select that, and it should load in, and you'll see a whole bunch of new features selected. Now, if you don't see this happening, it means that you don't have the bones selected, so make sure the bones are selected, and then you can load in the map. So with that done, we're going to go down to the bottom where it says dist, and it should be 0.70. So 0.70 is the distance, and once that's done, you're going to just hit action. Now you'll see a Second Life skeleton is coming in, and it's already retargeted to the animation. All we have to do now is just push play and see how it goes. Now the reason I picked this one is that you can see here that the feet kind of go into the ground, or the feet is lower. Now we could just grab the Second Life skeleton and press G and rise it up a little bit, but that won't do nothing. To make it go up, we need to adjust the director, not the actor. So if you find that your animation is in the ground or too low, select the director or the MMD skeleton, press G, and lift it out of the ground. Or lower, whichever. If you're rotated or a little crooked, you can press R and do the same thing. So just push it where you want it to go, and then that's that. If you're satisfied with the animation, you can start exporting it. If you're not satisfied and you wish to edit it, you will need to bake the animation to a proxy, and that will put it into the timeline so you can edit the frames. I haven't really done that because so far I just really don't care, and it's just been fine with me, but I will show you what to do in case you are not like me and you got standards and ish. So what I want to do is select our skeleton. Or is it the MMD? I forget. So I'm going to select the MMD skeleton real quick, and then I'm going to go to the animation, and I'm going to find the... Let me see. What button was it? Hang on. I'm sorry, y'all. Like I said, I don't have standards, so... Okay, so we want to click the animation, and I think it's baked to proxy. And that's going to take a minute or 3, so... I'm just going to do that. Keep clicking on it until it turns white, and then we'll know when it's done. So, okay. So now we have that done. We see the proxy come up. We can go into pose mode. I I usually have a animation thing going here. Which one of you guys is the proxy? Huh. I mean, it worked last time. Oh, okay. Wait, I know what I did wrong. I know what I did wrong. Give me a second. Let me brain. Okay, so I'm going to go into object mode. I want to select the second life skeleton. And let's delete this guy because he can't do nothing. So let's get this animation and let's bake that to the proxy. Okay. Now everybody's jamming. Pose mode. Yeah, see now you can edit the animation if you wanted to. So let me see something real quick. Let's grab this. Yeah, see, now you can edit the animation and do corrections if you want to. So go in there, change what you need to, and then lock it in with lot rot scale, and you should be groovy. But let's say you're like me and you ain't got no standards and everything is okie dokie. So we are just going to go back into object mode. Get out of here, proxy, you're confusing things. And we're going to select the second life skeleton. Then we're going to go here into animations tab inside of our Onigiri thing. It says character tools, animations. We're going to do frame. I always start on frame 2 so it doesn't get that T-pose. Doesn't really matter because she does this sort of thing at the end. And it's just snaps, so whatever. Let's see. What's a nice clean frame? And then she jumps for. You know what? No, I want that forward jump. I want that. Alright, so you can actually stop it wherever you want. By default, it already puts in the stuff. Right here is the frames per second that you want to have it on there. By default, it's 24. But sometimes you may have to increase it. So it's like 24, 30, or 60 is one of those. So you can change it there if you want to. Once we got everything we want done, let's go down to the export features. Let's give this a name. By going to the base name, we can do it for Lola. This is very important later on. The name, the priority you want your animations to be. I usually make mine at 3 or 4. Because maybe 3. If you want it to loop, you can press this loop animation and it asks you where do you want the loop to start, where do you want it to finish. I want it to play the whole thing and just keep on looping with me jumping through the window right there. And then once you're done, you can hit export animation. So I'm going to export that. Jinxed. Oh. Did it finish export? Okay, so give me 1 second, sorry. Yeah, sorry, because of the holiday and everybody called out, they mandated my husband for an hour. Boo. Alright, so we got that done. We have this exported, and we need to go check on that animation because even though it exported, Second Life has some standards about what you can do. So the animation has to be under 250 kilobytes, so 250 KB. If not, then you have to split the animation. And if you want to split the animation, you can do so with the Onigiri plugin. All you have to do is push this button right here that says split animation. And it will ask you how you want to split it, and you can do it by time and so on. And this helps with the scripts and stuff, but really the time one is what you want to use to split it in segments. Now it's default by 60 seconds and this mission is only 15 seconds, so if I was to split it, I would do something like by 5 or 6 seconds, and then it would just split it into 6 seconds for me or 5 seconds for me. But I ain't splitting it because I ain't got that kind of money right now. So we are going to come inside here, upload our animation, and see how that looks. This is definitely something to be a Premium Plus member for. That way you can upload all the animations you want when it won't cost you no money. So I have my Lola, and you can see her name is Lola. She was a showgirl, but that was 30 years ago when they used to have a show. Now it's a disco, but not for Lola. Still in the dress she used to wear. That's as much music as you go and get without my getting a copyright strike. So yeah, that is how you put it in there. So yes, my feet are going into the ground, but with the proxy or just editing, doing a light editing, you can put yourself up and do that if you wanted to. But then that's that. And you can edit your hand motions inside there. So yeah, there is work that you can do to clean and polish this some more, but I'm not one of them people to do that. I don't care. So that's for somebody else to play with. So yeah, that is it, you guys. I wonder if you can guess this one. That's that stupid Star song everybody likes. So as you see, it can capture fingers. It just doesn't quite look right with me with my long ass fingers. Watashi wa star, 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 star. Kirai, kirai, watashi wa star. There you go. So that's it in a nutshell. This was months of research and polishing, and it got us to this point in this tutorial. I hope this helps you out, and I hope that you are able to create lots and lots of animations and make Second Life a brighter place. And maybe even for my machinima people who want to motion cap and talk and stuff, because that's exactly what I plan on doing whenever I get the free time to do so. So you guys have fun, and remember to share your animations that you make with the MMD community and me, because I help you, and that could count as a tip, and I like to move. So I'm sorry, I don't know, I hate saying goodbye to you when the tutorial ends. I want our time to stay longer, but we gotta go so we can do our projects. So with that said, good luck on your projects, and I hope they come out fine. Until our next video, I see you guys later. Have fun. Bye. Mwah.